welcome into the CLNS Red Sox Roundtable, hosted by myself, Nick Quaglia, alongside two members of the CLNS Red Sox B team, Adam Belue and Alex Barth. How we doing, boys?
Good.
Good.
Missing the ESPYs.
Yeah, right? That's painful for nobody.
I'm
to miss the
so
ESPYs.
torn up I don't get to see Peyton Manning make a bunch of bad jokes.
A bunch of jokes.
Exactly. Omaha! Yeah, it got old like 5 years ago, buddy.
Yeah, we got it, dude. Good. Well, tonight, the three of us are going to be talking about the Red Sox first half of the season so far through 2017. Obviously, had the All-Star game last night. Horrifically boring All-Star game. I didn't really expect much else. Home Run Derby on Monday night was awesome. We're not going to really be talking about that, but the Home Run Derby on Monday was phenomenal. Aaron Judge, as much as I want to hate him, he's well-spoken, which also pisses me off because I wanted him to be a moron so I could hate him for something. This guy is a monster. It's unbelievable what he does.
No, we'll grow to hate him in Red Sox Nation. We'll grow to hate him. We haven't had that moment yet. It may be coming up this weekend, 3-game set, but we'll grow to hate him. I'm confident.
He needs to get cocky. That's what it is.
He does, yeah.
These Yankees are like way too likable. Like
he needs to bat flip on Chris Sale and then have the ball not go out.
Yeah. Oh no.
That's
you know
what needs to happen.
No, he needs.
They'll throw hands.
It needs to be painful. It needs to be a 3-run home run or a grand slam with a bat flip. That's what needs to piss us off.
On Sale, he needs to piss Chris Sale off.
Yeah.
Because if he does it on David Price, I might like him more.
You know what? What, Alex?
Leave David Price alone.
You know what, Alex? So far, this is our first time ever talking to each other, and I enjoy you. I'll say that right now. I like you.
Leave David Price alone.
You're in the minority there, Nick.
All right. First half of the season. Alex, what do you think about it? Are you happy with where this team's at right now? First place, 3.5 game lead. What do you think about this team so far?
I think you could be up a little bit more. I know it's obviously the most recent one. The series against Tampa. I think you got to do more than take 1 out of 4 there. I'm happy, especially since I was talking to somebody about this a couple days ago. You have to remember, this was the flu team to start the year. The first 2-3 weeks, everybody had some disease and they couldn't get a lineup on the field. And when you throw that into consideration, yeah, around 50 wins, 3.5 games up. I'm feeling really good. That can change really quickly. We'll see what happens with this Yankee series. They should take 2 out of 3. And I know we're going to have another post second half roundtable preview, so make sure to check that out, those of you listening. But no, I'm happy with where they are. I wouldn't say I'm overly happy. They're where they should be, given the circumstances.
Adam, how are you feeling about this?
I'm so-so. I think, like Alex said, I think they should have a higher, have a stronger lead in that division because that division's pretty bad. And I just think they're so inconsistent, and I'm scared of that offense. I mean, their pitching has been great. I think the starting pitching's been a lot better than expected, but that offense scares the daylights out of me. I mean, they can go 3 or 4 games and just make these like terrible pitchers look great, and it just brings back flashbacks from what they did in the postseason last year, where they just couldn't hit anybody.
I would have played the other way around on that.
That offense is not. I'm just not a huge fan of the offense. I mean, there's one game where they get
failure. Even the best offenses go quiet at times. They've had a 3-man rotation.
They go quiet too often, and they go quiet against these terrible
They go
pitchers.
quiet a lot. This isn't a team that just goes quiet for a couple of games. Like at the beginning of the season, it was almost terrifying how poor this offense looked.
They didn't have
looked like they couldn't get anything together.
Time.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They're doing this right now with Devin Marrero at third base and Zhu Wei Lin in the infield. Those two playing at the same time is about equivalent, I think, of what they were in the beginning of the season. I just think certain people stepped up. Like Mookie Betts was horrible in the beginning of the year. Mookie Betts was hitting about 260. Andrew Benintendi started hot, slowed down very quickly. The only one who really started off excellent was Xander Bogaerts. And, I mean, he's cooled off a little bit, but at this point, Xander Bogaerts was the only player who started off the year hot, and everybody else was just silent. It was scary.
What about Mitch Moreland? No love for Mitch Moreland?
Mitch Moreland had some spurts, but he was good. I would give him the second. I'll give you that.
I would say he's been their most consistent
right
hitter.
Now,
though. You would say he's the most consistent hitter
that they've had this year? Outside of Xander Bogaerts, yeah, probably.
See, you know,
consistent, not best, not necessarily best, but I think you know what you're going to get from him week in and week out.
See, I don't though, because I think he strikes out too much, and he may get a hit every 6 at bats. I'll say that. Maybe a hit every 6 at-bats, but it's a double, so we all forget about it because then we like to use the term Mitchie 2 bags. That's what makes us.
He doesn't have that many lately, though.
Yeah, now he's Mitchie 4 bags.
But like you said, he does strike out.
Dongs.
You know he's a strikeout guy. You can plan around that. You can have the guys around him in the lineup compensate for that. What was that?
I don't like strikeout guys, and especially because I know he's hitting well right now. Sneaky, actually, before I bring this up, I think the best offensive player for the Red Sox this season so far has been Jackie Bradley. I
wouldn't say best. He's definitely up there. Definitely up there. He's gotten hot for a longer stretch than usual.
Not than usual.
Normally it only lasts 2-3 weeks. He's been hot for about 2 months now.
That's what he did last year.
Most of the whole season.
Right, no, that's what I'm saying. This is probably his longest hot streak that we know how streaky he is. This is probably his longest hot streak he's had, outside of the, 27-31 game hitting streak.
Which is like a month, it's like a month and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think he's been the best offensive player because he started off, he was probably by far the worst hitter in this lineup. It came to the point, if you go back to my Twitter, you're going to see me calling for his job. I couldn't stand watching him play baseball.
I was calling for his job, and I love him. I was like, Chris Young needs to get at bats. This guy's awful right now. Like, he needs to sit on the bench.
I remember seeing him in the spring moving Benintendi back to center and putting Chris Young in left, and that was what people wanted.
Yeah. In his the reason I'm saying that he's the best offensive player for this team right now is because through May, or for the whole season, through May, I'd say, let's go May 29th. May 29th, he's hitting 202, okay? His average, he has brought his average
280 now.
All the way up. It is July now. He is now hitting 286. Do you know what you have to do to be able to hit 286? In the month of June, he hit 353.
No, he's been great. And you know what's been huge for him? They've faced almost no lefties this year. That's been huge for him. And not to take anything away from what he's doing, but if that trend continues, yes, he could continue to be a very potent bat.
You wouldn't know that because every time there's a lefty, they bench Benintendi and Moreland for some unknown reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's on Hanley. We all know that.
No, that's on John Farrell. We all know that.
Well, that too, yeah.
What do we know? Because I feel like we all know something.
John Farrell's inability to handle Hanley Ramirez.
John Farrell's terrible. That's what we all know.
Listen. I work in a Parks and Recreation department. I see a lot of camps that we have in town for the town that I work for, and these kids are more well behaved, I feel, than Hanley Ramirez. It must be easier to take care of these little maniacs.
Listen, Hanley's been raking lately, though.
No, yeah, if he's going to hit like this, he can do whatever he wants.
I don't even think he's been raking.
Yeah, he has.
You know why I say that? Because I'm infuriated by when the Red Sox were down 1-0, and they had an opportunity to score against the Yankees on Saturday, I believe it was.
Against the Rays?
Against the Rays, yeah, excuse me. Against the Rays. Hanley, you knew he wasn't going to do anything. You knew he was not going to score. And he just doesn't have the clutch gene. And it's
yeah, but it was 1-0.
We're not all day.
Not other 8 innings, everybody else sucked too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What cost in that game was manager John hitting Chris Young to round that thing off when Jackie Bradley was on the bench to bring the conversation back around. Put your hottest hitter in the game. 2 outs, 1-run game, bases loaded in the 9th. That should be a no-brainer.
Hey, you know what? John Farrell said absolutely that day Jackie Bradley Jr. is getting a full day off. And you know what, guys? I'm trying to apologize in a bit when I'm wrong. Hanley is hitting 359 for the month of July, so I'll give it to him right there. He is smacking the ball around a little bit. But he's only got 2 home runs.
Keep calling him out. Every couple weeks, a reporter should remind him he's not doing too well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the moment that he heard that he was hitting, 143 against lefties?
Something like that. Yeah.
His jaw hit the ground. He was like, this is unbelievable.
Could you imagine being that good at something where somebody tells you, oh, you're not doing well? You can just flip a switch in your mind and become like a top 10 person at that in the world.
Yeah,
which have that much talent.
Which blows my mind because the talent's there. He's just Hanley Ramirez. He just doesn't care.
Right. He wants to be Manny Ramirez a little too much.
See, yeah, no, exactly. And that's probably that could be who he's emanating. Remember, he came up through the system at that time.
Manny and Ortiz, that's all he ever talks about.
Yep. All right. So we got 3 quick questions to finish off this episode. Who was your first half MVP? Who was your first half disappointment? And who was the biggest surprise to you so far? Alex, who's your first half MVP?
Oh, it's got to be Chris Sale. I mean, it's no question. I was worried about Sale coming into the season. I know he's a great pitcher. For me, it was just, we've seen across all sports, free agents come to Boston. Sometimes they can't handle the hype. He was coming from the White Sox, which had been in the shadow of the Cubs World Series run, but he stepped up to the plate, metaphorically speaking. He's literally speaking in that one game, driving in their only run against the Phillies. He's been great. He's handled the media fantastic. He's been great with the fans. He's been lights out. Obviously started the All-Star game. He has been, it's crazy to think for what they gave up for him. He has been better than advertised, but he has been.
Adam, what about you?
I want to say Craig Kimbrell, but he doesn't. I'm going to go with Chris Sale too. I mean, the guy's been unbelievable. I think what was it? The first month of the year, he was just I mean, he's just nasty. So is Kimbrell, but I mean, this is exactly what the team needed, especially with the fact that Rick Porcello's had an off 2017 compared to the 2016 that he had. And we just needed another solid starting pitcher. And Chris Sale's been, I mean, I knew he was good. I mean, we all knew he was like really good. I didn't know he was this like just nasty. I mean, his stuff is so good. He is like a bulldog. He just doesn't care. Like, he's just focused on winning at all costs. Even when he pitches well, he's like, oh, well, if the team doesn't win, then I don't care. That's all it's about. I mean, he's just a great teammate and a great pitcher. God.
See,
I'll say this. If Sale's the team MVP, Kimbrell for sure is the team Cy Young. He's right there with Sale.
See, I'm glad you didn't say Craig Kimbrell because my choice was Craig Kimbrell. Craig Kimbrell has been, and don't get me wrong, obviously Chris Sale's been phenomenal this season, but Craig Kimbrell has been so out of this world as the Red Sox closer. It's not even a stretch to say that he might be the best closer in baseball this year. He's got 37.2 innings pitched, only allowed 14 hits, and for a long time that number was very low. He has only given up 5 runs. He's given up 2 home runs this year, but that's honestly nothing. For a dominant closer, for what he's brought to this team, he's finally a guy, I haven't felt like this since 2007. We finally have a closer in Boston who you feel like when he goes out there, the game's officially over. Because that was like Jonathan Papelbon in 2007. Now that we have Craig Kimbrell here, and the way that he's been pitching, I mean, he
cut down his walks so much too.
Yeah,
his walks were terrible last year, and this year, I mean, what does he have? Like 3
walks. I got the stats right in front of me. He's got 5 walks total.
That's and like
against what? I think 3 of those were strikeouts.
Yeah, it's strikeouts 68.
Oh,
his strikeout to walk is absurd.
All right, quickly, guys. 20 seconds for each answer now. Who was your first half disappointment, Adam?
Oh, I'm gonna go Pablo Sandoval because he's terrible. I mean, I believed the hype at the beginning of the year. I thought he was going to be good. I thought, there was an article saying, oh, he made all these lifestyle changes and he's got a new fiance and he was rededicating himself to baseball and he was in good shape. And I thought, well, this is it, man. We're finally going to get the Pablo that we're looking for. And he sucks, man. They need to release him. Like, I hate Devin Marrero, and I'd rather see Devin Marrero than that clown at third.
Alex,
so I was going to go.
Alex, you go. You're up.
I'm going to go a little off the map here. I was thinking about saying David Price. I'm actually going to say Dave Dombrowski, because if you look what the 2 heels for this team have been this year, the 2 Achilles heels, it's been middle innings relief and third base. And Dave Dombrowski in the offseason traded a great third baseman, a guy who was on an absolute tear in Travis Shaw, for middle inning relief guys who haven't seen the field. They can't get on. So I'm going to go Dave Dombrowski. I feel like he almost made too many moves. He did some things. This team would be better if he could have kind of reined it in after the Chris Sale trade.
I'm going with Rick Porcello. Rick Porcello, after his Cy Young, he's having a Cy Young hangover right now. 4.75 ERA, over a total of 119.1 innings pitched. He's given up a ton of hits, 147. I'm not positive if this is correct, but that might be the worst in baseball right now, giving up that many hits.
I believe so.
Boys, all right. Thank you for coming on for the first half review. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, to the CLNS Red Sox Roundtable. Once again, this has been Nick Quaglia, Adam Belue, Alex Barth. Have a good night.